Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here, and it's the final video for Superman week. This is pretty much the video where I talk about my initial thoughts about the movie. Before I get into that, first of all, the winner of the t-shirt poll that I had on the first Superman week video was, well, pretty much in a landslide. Classic Superman shield. Yep. That was the winning shirt. Should have seen it coming, but initially I was going to do it, but then I figured first day I'd do the contest anyway, but nevertheless, this was obviously the fans' choice for what they wanted for which Superman shirt I should wear at the premiere. Okay, so I'm going to midnight. So Man of Steel is released tomorrow, or tonight if you're going to the midnight showing. I'm going to talk about what I think about the movie, what I think went into it, some of the comics that went into it. Stuff like that. So this is just pretty much all of my thoughts about a new Superman franchise, everything out in the open. So just to get any of my viewers ready to see the movie when it comes out this weekend. Okay, so first off, this is going to be the start of a new Superman franchise. Now, a lot of people, when they some people were against it when they saw the change to the suit that looked more like the new 52 suit rather than the classic suit, but you know, whenever people hear about a new franchise, most people are just like ready to shoot it down. Others are more patient. They're wait and see it kind of people, like they want to see trailers and footage and stuff. I'm kind of in that category, the wait and see type. And there's also people who are like, thank God we're getting a new franchise. Well, in this case, yeah, Superman really needed a new film franchise. After Christopher Reeve, pretty much after Superman 2 with the Christopher Reeve series, the Superman movies were not good. And then during the 90s, they tried to bring it back, first with Kevin Smith writing the screenplay for it, but unfortunately that fell apart, which, if you heard any of the news that came out, what was initially planned after Kevin Smith left the project for like this new Superman franchise they had for the 90s, which was called Superman Lives, I think. They tried numerous times to try to relaunch the Superman films, but unfortunately none of them succeeded, and the only one that actually got to screen was Superman Returns, and that tried to be a continuation of the Christopher Reeve movies, but no, didn't test well, and I agree. Not that there was anything wrong with the acting, it's just the story was weak, incredibly weak, and the way it was set up at that point, the franchise was set up at that point, was just kind of lame. But good news is, this is going to be a fresh franchise, all new, starting from the beginning with Superman's origin, which is great, because it's been a while, so obviously we need to do the origin again. Okay, and the good news about this, about the whole new Superman franchise, is that they had a lot of, the two names that the WB really are putting out there are that the Man of Steel is directed by Zack Snyder, who directed 300 and Watchmen. I haven't seen 300, but I did see Watchmen, and I read the graphic novel before seeing the movie. And Zack Snyder did a brilliant job adapting that graphic novel to the big screen, because I would say it's nearly 90 to 100% of a direct adaptation. Keep in mind, I said not 100%, not like between 90 and 100, really. So obviously, when I heard that he was going to be directing Man of Steel, I thought, well, that's obviously a good choice. I mean, the guy did a good job with Watchmen, in my opinion. So I'm now looking forward to how he's going to adapt Superman for a new generation. And of course, the producer of the movie is Christopher Nolan, the man who brought back Batman. Yeah, so Nolan, he's not directing this movie, which is a little bit of a shame, but he's producing it, so he does have some input in it, which I think is brilliant. You know, hopefully it won't. Hopefully there was, as far as I know, there weren't like any clashes between Nolan and Snyder, so fortunately that's taken care of. Also, Nolan, he did a good job with all three Batman movies. I loved each one of them. So you know, so now he's doing Superman. I think that's obviously good. That was a good choice by the WB, even though it does now kind of make everyone think that, oh yeah, for every superhero movie, Christopher Nolan's going to be working on it. No, not every superhero movie, just Batman so far and Superman, which, let's face it, Superman really needed the best guys possible for this. And the writer of the screenplay for Man of Steel is also the writer for the Dark Knight movies, David S. Goyer. So yeah, there's another person from the Dark Knight franchise that came on to the new Man of Steel franchise. So obviously they're taking some people from some of the best elements of the Dark Knight franchise and moving them to the Man of Steel, which I think was a good move by Warner Brothers, because Superman really does need a wide reach of people, and I think putting the names out there like Zack Snyder, Christopher Nolan, Christopher Nolan will get people like, oh hey, those are like really good directors and film guys. I should go see this movie because it sounds like they know what they're doing. And okay, Man of Steel is going to be an origin movie, and like I said before, this is going to be an origin story. Initially, though, I heard it was going to be based on Superman Birthright, and when I saw some of the trailers, such as the Kryptonian invasion on Earth, I kind of figured, yeah, that was an element of Birthright. Except in Birthright, the invasion was staged by Lex Luthor shortly after Superman went public to try to discredit Superman. But now, for Man of Steel, the invasion is real. We've got General Zod leading the fight. I'm not entirely sure how that's possible. My guess is the Phantom Zone will be involved in some way, as how Zod and his soldiers escaped Krypton's destruction and made it to Earth. But the more footage that I saw of the movie, I kind of thought this is less like a direct adaptation of Birthright and more of sort of something that takes elements from, I'd say, almost every Superman origin. Because Jonathan, I think it's obvious I'm just assuming this from the trailers, but I don't think Jonathan Kent makes it to Superman's public debut. I think the whole Jonathan Kent having a heart attack and dying before Clark leaves Smallville is something that is staying in the film franchise, which I think is great, because Jonathan dying did kind of give Clark the push he needed, both in Smallville, the Earth One graphic novel series. It kind of gave, and also back in the Silver Age and the Golden Age, it kind of gave Clark the push he needed to move on from Smallville and think bigger and try to be a hero for the world. So that's still staying. And oh yeah, also it was from that idea came from the Christopher Reeve movie. So that's staying too. That's nice. And also this isn't just going to be like Superman's origins, like how he discovered the suit and stuff, but it's also going to be like Superman's first year as a hero, and him getting captured by the military did sort of remind me of what happened in Grant Morrison's run on Action Comics in the New 52 when Superman got arrested by the government. Except instead of getting arrested in the movie, he willfully surrenders to them. So that will be less of Superman fighting the government and more of him working alongside them to stop Zod. What else? And again, also I don't think. Oh yeah, also Man of Steel, the actual miniseries, the one that changed Superman's origin for the post-crisis universe, that I think is playing a role in this movie too, because Superman, we've seen all clips of Superman. Okay, we've either seen him as Superman or Clark Kent, but without the glasses or the suit, or as a reporter and just sort of like a traveler. The traveling thing, I kind of think that came from Birthright too, but it also reminded me of the first Man of Steel miniseries, where after Clark left Smallville, he didn't put on the Superman suit. He just kind of save people privately. Like, he would save them, but he wouldn't be caught on film, and that's kind of what we're seeing, and that's kind of what I saw in the trailer. Back when Superman had the beard and he's saving people from the oil rig, that was something that reminded me of Man of Steel, of how Clark would just like stick to the shadows, not get caught. But unfortunately, that's about to change, and now that he knows that Zod's after him specifically, that's what pushes him to wear the Superman suit and go off and save the world. And I think towards the end of the movie, that's when we're going to be, like, maybe in the last few 30 minutes of the movie, after Zod and the other Kryptonians are defeated or sent back to the Phantom Zone, that's going to be when Clark decides to become a reporter, because he'll probably be inspired by Lois Lane and take on and use his Clark Kent identity as a secret, as a mask, so that he can continue his work as Superman. And change that people were skeptical about. well, only one drew attention. That was the change to the Superman suit. The suit does seem to take look a lot more like the New 52, in that it's just not having the blue underoos anymore, and also it looks a little more like armor, like not the huge metallic. Okay, well, it's not huge, but like not really metallic-y like the comic book counterpart. More of it's like chainmail, and I think from a distance it does pass as cloth, but the suit's not that bad. I like the suit. It's good. They did change the S shield just a little, but it's still there, and I think it looks good. I really do. I do like the whole. Obviously, the suit will be in the Fortress of Solitude because it was saved for some reason, and I think the fortress itself is different. The fortress itself is different. I think it looks less like something that grew out of a crystal in the Smallville and Christopher Reeve movies, and more like it looks like a Kryptonian ship that crash landed in the Arctic. That could have been something that maybe Jor-El sent ahead of time to let Clark know, Kal-El know where he came from, why he's there and stuff, and that's going to be where we're going to see the Jor-El holograms and everything. It looks a lot different, but you know, it could work. I really do think it could work. It looks more like a actual structure rather than just. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the ice fortress. I think it's great. It's iconic, but obviously they need to change it, do something different, and it looks a little more like a combination of the Arctic ice fortress and something like the Golden Age Superman's secret citadel type of fortress. But those two things are different, and they look great. I can't wait to see how they look and how they work in terms of the story. But now for the main actor and actress of the story. Henry Cavill is the new Superman. He's a British actor, so he's the first British guy to play Superman. Interesting, but now I think if someone wants an American actor as Doctor Who, we shouldn't complain. But Henry Cavill, he looks great as Superman. I think he looks very close to the character. Saw him in a couple of clips, and he looks good in it. I think he looks good in it. I mean, he really does look like he can perform Superman well, and possibly a younger Clark Kent who's still not sure how he's going to use his powers in the world. So far, he's working secretly, but I think he does yearn to be a part of the human race. And I really hope he portrays that aspect of the character well, but I haven't seen his whole Clark Kent reporter yet, so that still remains to be seen. I don't know what's going to happen there, but I hope he is able to live up to the whole Red Cape situation. And also, Amy Adams is the new Lois Lane. She looks amazing. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was initially skeptical about Amy Adams, but saw a couple of interviews with her. She loves the character Lois Lane. She's a big Superman fan, and also I did see actual clips of her. She looks, so far, I have no complaints. I think she's gonna be a great Lois. Now for the choice villain of the movie, General Zod. Well, obviously you need to have someone who's an even. One thing you want to have in a Superman movie is see Superman push his strength to the full limits. And in order to do that, you need a very powerful enemy. And I think rather than start off with Lex Luthor, because let's face it, Lex has been in almost every Superman movie except Superman 3. But instead of Luthor, they decided to go with a different approach and just go with General Zod. Obviously, people know Zod from Superman 2 and Smallville, but now this is going to be a new Zod, a new version of General Zod, but he's still the basic, Kryptonian warlord, former Kryptonian soldier. He wants nothing but conquest, and also he wants to kill the son of Jor-El, Superman. And I think Zod was obviously a good choice. I mean, he's kind of something. He is a little well known because of Superman 2, but not exactly as well known as Luthor or Brainiac. So this is a villain that could be introduced to some people, but some people might be able to click it in their heads and go, "Oh yeah, he was in Smallville a couple of times." Yeah. So it's obviously a well-known villain, which is good. As far as and for opening it up, I think that's good because obviously they're using the Kryptonian invasion again. They want to, and rather than be a facade constructed by Luthor, they're just going with an actual thing. And who better to go lead it than Zod? So Superman, and obviously if Superman does and obviously either Zod's going to die or he's going to get sent back to the Phantom Zone. So that'll probably be the end for Zod. Then, if this movie's going to be a trilogy, we might see Luthor again. I mean, there is no reason we can't see like a couple of hints of Luthor. I mean, some person did say that if you look at the fight scene, one of the fight scenes in the trailer, you do see a Luthor Corp skyscraper. So Lex could be making an appearance in the movie sometime. I don't think he might take an active role, like he'll just automatically put on the green and purple battlesuit and go destroy Superman. I think they want to build up to that, like show Luthor as sort of a quiet background player, and then sort of bring him in for like the big finale. That could really work for Lex. And as far as which version of Luthor to use, I really hope they stick to the modern evil businessman, scientist type of villain that we got pretty much post-Crisis. Like nothing before the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Just everything after that, the modern Luthor, that's where they should draw their inspiration from. Yeah, overall, I really want this movie to succeed. I'm excited for it. I've been looking for it. This was pretty much the one movie I've really been anxious to see for the summer. I hope it does well. I really hope that everyone loves this, and that hopefully Warner Brothers is able to launch an entire DC cinematic universe from this. And also we do know that there is going to be a sequel to this movie plan. I think a sequel was announced, not officially, but I think a sequel has been officially announced. And also we do have Justice League, which is supposed to come out in 2015, but I think that might get pushed back for some reason. But Warner Brothers wants to shoot for 2015 for the Justice League movie. So hopefully, if Man of Steel succeeds, we will get a DC cinematic universe, and that is pretty much why I really want that movie to succeed, because I want to see other heroes come out of it. Green Lantern, who really deserves a reboot, Wonder Woman, Flash, and, well, obviously we're going to get a new Batman. But hopefully he'll be just as good as Nolan's Batman. Okay, yeah, so those are all my feelings about the Man of Steel movie right before I see it. I'm going to the midnight showing tonight. Hopefully afterwards, hopefully after the movie, I'll probably have a review up either Friday or Saturday. So stay tuned so pretty much keep an eye on my channel for that. Overall, thank you for watching my video. Thank you if you watched all of Superman Week, thank you for watching that. If not, you can just click on my channel and go to the list of video uploads, and all 7 videos should be there. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for sticking around for Superman Week. Spider-Man 1991 saying, see you later.